Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining us. My name is Natalia, and I actually joined Fairfax back in 2022 as a surrogate, and I'm recently joined their team as a bilingual surrogate intake and recruiter. But today we're talking to Cassie because she just completed her journey. And hi, Cassie.
Hi, Natalia. Thank you so much for having me. I actually just completed my first
That's
surrogate
awesome.
journey in August with Fairfax. I, it was a long process, just to get that out there.
It's a long process sometimes.
Yes. So back in October of 2023 is when I was kind of shopping around for or not shopping, but just like interviewing.
Shopping.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
we were looking around.
Yes, gathering information about different agencies, and Fairfax was just felt very comfortable, and they had so much information, and so I just went ahead and signed up and went through that initial process. Met the IPs just a few months later in December, so October to December. I felt like that was pretty good.
Well,
Yeah,
that was fast.
yes. And then after that, I'm trying to think how many months it was to get all the medical clearance.
Legal.
I think, let's see, I think contracts were signed in April. So December to April, 4 months. Not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Um,
don't feel like that's too bad. Sometimes contracts tend to extend themselves quite a bit just because of the back and forth and the changing different jargons and whatnot inside the contract. So I feel from December to April, that's not bad.
yeah. I mean, in the moment, it felt like a very long time, but looking back, I'm like,
Definitely.
that actually, it feels I felt comfortable with it looking back. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And
How
then
many times did you hear the phrase, hurry up and wait?
exactly. Oh my goodness, so many times. So many
That should be our
times.
slogan at this
Yes,
point. Hurry
it
up
really
and wait.
it really should, because that is surrogacy in general, I feel.
Definitely. So I just wanted to ask you a
Mhm.
couple of questions. One of
Yeah.
them is what inspired you to become a gestational carrier?
Um, there's not really like a pinpoint thing that made me want to do this. I would say ever since high school, maybe even before high school, I just really felt it had a calling basically, or felt it in my heart that I really wanted to help a family create their own family once my family was complete. Because I know that is the more correct way to go about it would be to make sure that you're finished on, just because other things can happen in the meantime. So, and I have actually been with my husband since high school. And so he has known that
Oh,
since then also.
he's been
Um,
on board since the very first day.
yeah, I don't know about on board the whole time, but I think he kind of thought I would forget about it or not, grow out of it. But nope, I didn't. And I'm
It took
actually,
my husband a bit of convincing, truthfully. I was like, hey,
yeah. I mean, you got to be on the same
I
page
had to
there.
bring it up every single day.
Yeah. Yes, and and that's okay. I'm also a women's health nurse. I worked in labor and delivery, so I've been on the nursing side of that as well, and just seeing patients come through, taking care of other surrogates and IPs. That also just like solidified that in my heart that like I want to do that, and my family's complete. I have two boys of my own, 8 and 6, and I was like, I think we're good. Let's do this. So I brought it up to my husband again at that time, and we, yeah, started looking around at different agencies and gathering more information. Yeah, and I think
That's awesome.
I just really wanted to help another family create their family. So
I feel like that's the common theme with many of the surrogates. They really just want to help. At the end of the day, it's not the money at all. It's
mhm.
the wanting to help another couple become a family.
Yes, I
And
am.
that's
And just being like, I am a caretaker in general, being a nurse. And so just like, I don't know, I feel like that's just like an extension of, at this point, like who I am. I just really want to take care and help other people. So, and this was a great opportunity to do that.
that's awesome. So I wanted to get to know your how. What were the steps that you took in the beginning of the journey? How did you come across Fairfax Surrogacy?
Yes. So originally, I actually, when me and my husband had made the final decision to move forward with it, I honestly I got on different websites and just researched agencies, read other people's stories from the GC side as well as from IPs, joined some support groups online, and just really just gathered a bunch of research just to see what all it entailed and like kind of time frame that we were looking at. I also trying to think. I think there's probably 2 or 3 other agencies that I just gathered information from.
Yeah,
But with Fairfax, when I spoke with the intake person that day, I just felt so comfortable and really just reassured that this is the right agency for me to move forward with. So I think we set up another meeting, and my husband was in on it, and he agreed, and we just went forward and started the process. So I feel like it was kind of an easy decision, honestly.
I feel like when the people are right in it, it makes it easier.
Mhm,
When their heart is right and the way they talk to you
mhm.
and the way they converse and go about the questions, that's what makes it feel like, yeah, this is the place.
Yes, and, like, I feel, just them sharing their experience a lot of people that work with, different agencies, I feel like have gone through it in some aspect, and
Definitely.
so just hearing those experiences, I think, really just made me feel comfortable. So
So, what was your experience? What were the highs and lows in your journey?
yeah, so in my journey, I will say, so like I said before, we matched in December, and then contracts were signed in April. When we had our first transfer in May of 2023, and everything went smoothly there. However, it ended in a miscarriage at 7 weeks, and so that was just something that I had never been through personally. The IM I was working with, she had been through miscarriages before, so I think it was just interesting having that was a more difficult time for me personally. But in the end, I really feel like it kind of helped. I don't know. It was just like it got myself and the parents just so much closer during that time and really like
Yes.
relying on each other. So even though it was a low, it also like was beneficial. I
Solidified your
Yes,
bond.
exactly. So and then there was a little bit of a waiting period after that. And we transferred again in December of 23, and then we delivered in August of 24, and he is just thriving, a big boy. I will say every pregnancy is so different. I carried my two little ones. They were 7'6" each of them, and this guy was 10'5". So I
Oh my gosh.
got my first C-section.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yes, so that was it. I wouldn't say that was a low or a high. It was an amazing experience, and they got to be there the whole time. Um, I would definitely a high. I would just say, since it was ended in just differently than we had planned, it just, um, I don't know. It just made our journey just a little bit different than we had all imagined it to be.
Oh my gosh, but 10 pounds. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yes.
I can only imagine the chunkiness of this
Yeah.
little
Oh
child.
my goodness, yes, all the roles, and, I still keep in contact with them. I'm actually still pumping for them, so shipping milk
Oh, that's
as well,
amazing.
and she sent me a video today. He rolled over for the first time.
Oh my god.
Yes, I know, onto his belly, so, yeah, very exciting.
They grow so fast. Why they can't just like stay little for a
I
little
know.
bit. So how was your relationship with the intended parents?
I feel like it's a fantastic relationship. We text I would say 3, 4
Daily.
times a week, so very often, and I mean, it's been like that since the beginning. They actually, had us travel, me and my family down for their baby shower in June.
Oh, really?
Yes, so that was so fun to, like, meet extended family and all their friends, and it really I feel like it just I don't know, it was very comforting knowing the support system that they had and,
Definitely.
like, who this baby was gonna grow up with, so
Mhm.
that was amazing and just amazing that they were able to do that for us, so, yeah, we have a great relationship. I, in the beginning of deciding on how, I don't know, what you want your relationship to be with the IPs. They
How to navigate the situation.
exactly, they kind of, they ask you what you think you would want, and you kind of match, or that goes into the matching process, is what is my understanding. So I was like,
Yes, it really does. So
I,
like we go ahead and we ask everyone like, do you want a good like do you want to talk to this intended parent daily? Is this something like what kind of values do you have so we can match you with someone that has the same values?
and I mean, I feel like Fairfax did a fantastic job matching us. So I was a little vague on it, just like I would at least want like little updates of like maybe pictures, but I would also be 100% on board with like, communicating all the time. And we've definitely leaned into that communicating all the time. So it's been a really great match from day one. I would say even after we got off that initial Zoom call in December of 23, our coordinator was like, I don't know if I've ever had
Cassie
people
froze.
respond so quickly.
What do you wish more people knew about surrogacy?
Oh, I would say from a carrier, I think just like the time, I don't know, just the patience that you need with the process and the time that everything takes. I think I was a little naive to that in the beginning, and just
Are
knowing that
they like snap your fingers, you're pregnant, let's get this show on the road?
exactly. There's a lot of things you have to go through first.
Yes.
And so I just don't think, I think as people start researching and looking up other people's stories and stuff, they probably come across that information. But I would say, like, yeah, patience would be a very, I mean, important thing if you're going to choose to be a carrier, and that every pregnancy is completely different. So you don't know what you're going to experience. Yours could be completely different than caring for someone else. And I mean, and it's beautiful, honestly, that they are like that. So other things, I think that I personally feel like we're going to have this lifelong relationship with these people that is just, I never imagined it being how it is. And it's great. So I think, yeah, just other people sharing their experiences and gathering a good amount of information before making the decision is all very
Okay,
important.
I feel like research is key.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people don't just click the sponsored one.
Yeah.
When you're researching, don't click on any of the sponsored ones. Don't
Shop
do it.
around.
Yes, do your research.
Yes.
Look for people that you click with and that mesh well with your ideals and your values. Do you have any other advice that you would give someone that is a GC right now or someone that's looking to become a GC? What kind of advice would you give them?
I think I was very, very lucky to have a amazing match, but I feel like really taking the time to process that and making sure that you're gonna mesh well. Um, Me personally, this was not an issue, but I've just, upon researching and reading other people's stories and listening to other people's stories, I feel like some people, they just like kind of rush into it. And, um,
Mhm.
you can really have disagreements and just make it a more difficult than it already is. This is a long, hard process, and not being on the same page with everything, which I think Fairfax does an amazing job making sure that everyone's on the same page, with like the psych screening, and then we actually like had a like our first time meeting the IPs and where they're from. We actually sat down with a psychologist and like hash out all these hard questions, which actually
That's awesome.
that is a good that is some advice actually. Make sure that you're ready to answer
It's the
hard
hard
questions
questions.
in front of, people that you don't know yet, because that was challenging. I would say for all four of us that was challenging, because it was all four of us that sat down and we're like, "Oh, we haven't thought about that yet." But and I feel like that our relationship is just, it's amazing. We have such a great relationship with them. Um, and I just really encourage people to wait until they feel that good bond with someone before jumping into it.
Definitely. What were some of those hard questions that you had to ask, though?
I mean, I had thought, so again, I'm labor and delivery nurse, so like I kind of have a little bit of insight into that process, and but I feel like the IPs hadn't really thought about all the things that could happen or go wrong.
Yeah.
And so it was just, I think they were more caught off guard. with those.
Mm.
So, but otherwise, I don't know. Some of them are like really simple. What do you do for stress relief, and do you have a good support system? Like those are some of the easier questions that we all talked about, and it was fun to kind of learn about. Me and my husband love to sit down and do puzzles. So, and that just like kind of take
That's
out
awesome.
on the back.
I always think to myself, maybe I should do a puzzle, but I never do it because my kids will just destroy it.
That's right.
So
Luckily, my kids are on board with doing the puzzle too, so they come and
no,
help.
my kids are on board in breaking the
Yes,
puzzle.
in breaking 'em, that's funny. I'm trying to think what some of the other I would just say yeah, making sure everyone's thinking of other things, all the outcomes that can happen. I think that would be important for everyone to process through before
Exactly.
having to go through them, so.
Well, I that's all the questions I have for you today, Cassie. I'm so glad you were able to join us and chat a little bit. I know surrogacy ultimately is not the easiest, but it's so
Yes.
inspiring and so amazing. It makes everyone think, well, maybe I can become a surrogate. Well,
Yes.
maybe you could.
Yes,
So
maybe you could. It's a very, very rewarding process, and I'm very, very grateful to Fairfax, and thank you so much, Natalia, for interviewing me today.
it was a pleasure. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Have a good day.